Good morning, fans of professional wrestling. It is James Ernest of the Grueling Truth here with OVW's Al Snow. Al is a legend in professional wrestling inside and outside of the ring. Today, we're going to be discussing OVW and how part of their national tour will be at the Riverfront Live on June 15th. Al, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. And we're really excited about coming into Cincinnati on June 15th and there at the Riverfront. I think it's going to be absolutely an amazing event. I really do.
Definitely. I mean, it's a great venue. You got great performers going to be there. Is it going to be indoors or outdoors?
I believe it's outdoors. I think that event, that venue is an outdoor venue, and it'll be underneath the night sky. So
That is awesome. I was going to say the neat thing about that venue is it can be both. So, like hypothetically, if it would rain, you don't have shouldn't have to cancel it because it does have a pretty big inside as well. So it's a really nice
right.
venue. We're excited about that. But we want to know back to the beginnings. How did Ohio Valley Wrestling get started back in 1993 with Nightmare Danny Davis?
Well, Danny Davis, started OVW or Ohio Valley Wrestling in Louisville, Kentucky back in '93, and it literally has been in operation ever since. We honestly, I think it is, I think we are the second longest running consecutive episodic television still on the air in television history. The only other one that's has more episodes than us is Raw
Oh, wow.
right now. And I mean that's all of episodic TV.
Yeah.
So Gunsmoke, Friends, Seinfeld, we outnumber them all as far as episodes of television on a weekly basis.
Yeah. That is quite impressive. So currently it is you and Matt Jones. Tell us about the positive impact Matt Jones has had on OVW.
Well, it's not just Matt Jones. It's we have a group of partners: Chad Miller, Larry Benz, Joe Reeves, Ed Pierre, myself, Matt Jones, and things. Everyone brings their strengths, and have brought their advantages, and have all added and contributed to OVW. We've really upgraded our presentation, and as far as the arena is concerned, we've really upgraded our production as far as television is concerned, lighting, sound, camera operation, all of it has really stepped up. And then our live event presentation is getting better every single event that we do, and our talent as well have developed to a dramatic degree as well too. So everybody is really bringing their A game and really contributing in every way.
So, of course, for our listeners that want to learn more about OVW, you have the episodic show. Is that on Thursday?
Yeah, so we do live television outside of AEW and WWE. We're the only other professional wrestling company that produces live television on a weekly basis. So we uh, we produce 2 hours of live television every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern, and we broadcast that live on WBNA, which is our local broadcast station, and then we also stream that on Thriller, which used to be Fight TV live, and we also do it on YouTube and Facebook as well each Thursday night. So
Nice.
yeah.
So they can get caught up with the storylines there. But if they want to know more about the history and more about the performers, I'm guessing Netflix is the best place to check out.
Well, Netflix, if they want to see the docu-series Wrestlers, I would highly encourage them to watch it. But if they want to see and know more about OVW in general, they can go to ovwrestling.com, and they can, the website's got all the information about OVW that you could ever possibly find.
So on Thursday nights when I'm watching OVW, I'd love to have an adult beverage. Any recommendations for me?
Well, Country Boy Brewing, who is a sponsor for OVW, I would highly recommend Country Boy for sure. They've got some great beers and great ciders. They've got an orange cream cider. It's like
Ooh,
uh, Yeah, it's like drinking a creamsicle. It's amazing.
Nice. That sounds
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'll have to check that one out. And then, of course, you mentioned how you're revamping the experience for OVW Live. Why do they need to experience that in person on June 15th?
Well, I think because, you can, wrestling is definitely very much a live event experience. You can watch it on TV, and it really is an amazing product to watch on TV. But to be there to feel the energy and the interchange between the audience and the performers is an incredible experience that really, regardless of the wrestling company, you just can't match with any other type of entertainment. And but I can say, kind of being, biased, I think we do it even better than anybody else does here in OVW.
Nice. And then when they're going to that event, they're going to need tickets.
Mhm.
What type of ticket options do you have for the Riverfront Live?
Uh, Boy, I wish I had the information, but I've got so many other things going and
No
so many other
worries. I was going to say, I
responsibilities.
got
I
it.
wish
It's
I had.
all good. I got your
Good,
back.
good.
We got general admission tickets for $40. We got table seats for
I think
55.
I think they just dropped general admission tickets to $10,
Oh,
$15, I believe. Yes, $15 for general admission.
oh, wow. That's breaking news.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah,
We got the ringside 55 and then the
yeah.
VIP package, which I'm interested in hearing more about that. 60 to be on the stage.
Yes, yes, and that is great seating, and they'll have a meet and greet with the wrestlers prior to the show, and be able to have an opportunity to get autographs and things like that.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I was going to say, it sounds like that's worth it right there to be able to have that type of fan experience. Because I know at other places, oh my gosh, their fan experiences are hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So for
Yes,
60
yes.
bucks, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, it should be a great time, and we really love to interact with the fans and feel like they're as much a part of the family that OVW is as much as anything.
Speaking of that family, which members of the family should we expect to see on June 15th?
I'm sure Shira will be there from Netflix fame. We'll have Luscious Lawrence and Omar Amir, and we've got quite a few locals too. Carson Drake, who is a Cincinnati native, Star Rider is a Cincinnati
Hmm.
native, and Jack Vaughn as well.
Nice. So some great national talent, some great local talent that has gone national.
Mhm.
So a little bit of everything. Now, this is one that I'm kind of confused on, so I'm excited about asking this question. The difference between the OVW National Heavyweight Championship and the OVW Heavyweight Championship.
So the pecking order is as such. If you are the national heavyweight champion, which is defended nationally all around the country, then you're the number one contender for the NWA World Heavyweight title.
Oh, wow.
If you are the heavyweight champion, OVW Heavyweight Champion, you're the number one contender for the national heavyweight title. If you are the OVW Media Champion, you're the number one contender for the heavyweight title, and that puts you in line then to get to the national title and then eventually a world title shot. So that's the pecking order uh, in that regard.
So how great has it been having EC3 back since 2023?
Well, it's been fantastic. It's really been a really mutually beneficial relationship. It's allowed EC3 to show a different side of himself and to reinvent himself and revitalize his career. And it's allowed OBW to, have access to a world class talent such as EC3. So, we've been thrilled. I mean, it's been really a great relationship.
What makes Leela Gray such an unstoppable danger?
Well, Layla Gray is, such again, what a world class talent Layla is as well. I mean, she just as far as female wrestlers, I mean, she's so committed, so driven, and is such an attraction that we're really lucky to have her.
And the great thing about your women's division, I understand you have a lot of talent in that division. How has it been able to grow and evolve? And tell us about some of the other talent.
Well, we have a great turnover because the one thing for us is that because of the turnover of talent that we have, we always have fresh faces and we never get stagnant or stale because our talent come in, they go out, they come back in, and our women's division continues to grow and evolve and develop each and every single week because we just keep getting newer talent coming from other areas wanting to take advantage of the platform and the exposure that OVW provides.
Nice. Currently, your OVW heavyweight champion is Tony Evans. He's on his first reign. You've had so many great OVW heavyweight champions in the past. Who are some of those legends that have held that belt?
Oh, John Cena, Batista, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes never held the heavyweight title, but he held the TV title and he held the tag team titles. We've, had, uh, geez, I'm trying to think of other ones. Elijah Burr. Um, geez, I can't think of all the names
There's
of
just been so
the
many
talent.
to
Oh,
keep track of.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and diverse. I mean, we've had quite honestly every race, creed, color, and religion has been a heavyweight champion here
oh,
in
nice.
OVW. And that's one of the things I'm really proud of is that we have such a diverse roster, have always had such a diverse roster, and always will.
Who are currently the tag team champs?
Tuscan Chains, Donovan Cecil is the Kentucky's strongest man, and TW3 have formed a great team and have been doing really, really well.
Nice. Now, I think this one is going to be, one of your favorites, I believe, is Carl Hero. Tell us about how he grew up in professional wrestling and how that's helped him to develop and grow so fast.
Well, Cal Hero is a phenomenal young man and a phenomenal talent. The fact that he grew up in professional wrestling has really helped him. But quite honestly, the biggest thing that's really helped Cal more than anything else is his own drive and determination. Cal takes it very seriously and commits and does everything he can to develop himself and invest in himself. And that's what's really brought Cal to the forefront of the roster.
So, with that being said, and you mentioned earlier about the hierarchy, so it sounds like at some point in the future he will be in the running for an OVW heavyweight championship match.
I would imagine. I mean, Cal is right now presently the OVW media champion, which makes him the number one contender for the heavyweight title. And if he ever decides to exercise that opportunity, then who knows?
And then probably the most exciting division that you have, the OVW Rush division. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the OVW Rush division is a division that is basically like a junior heavyweight division. I don't like to refer to it as that because I don't want to make it seem like the talent are less, but they're smaller, lighter, faster, much more chance taking individuals,
Mhm.
and we're going to institute a rule where the Rush Division champion will have three options once a year. Option A is that for 1 month they don't have to defend the title at all. Option B is that they can um, contend for the heavyweight title,
Hmm.
but they also have to defend the Rush Division title the same night
Ooh.
successfully. The option C is they can cash in the title and they then can take an opportunity for the national heavyweight title. But if they don't win, they don't have a title.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I was going to say that that sounds like some really great options, and it sounds like that's going to make that quite exciting.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll make things a lot more interesting, a lot more intriguing that once a year, your Rush Division champion will have that opportunity.
So, what makes Will Alston the perfect person to be the OVW Rush division champion?
Will has a great background in in wrestling and mat wrestling, and is willing to take risks. That with that rush division style to you know take it to the next level and retain that title. So he's a very talented young man, and I think has a great future.
Oh, definitely. I was going to say, you mentioned with the styles and all. I feel that seeing, and it might have already happened, but if it hasn't, someday him against Star Rider would be an amazing match.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had that match, just in that was how he had won the Rush Division Championship because that was up for grabs, and he of course attacked Star Rider beforehand and put the Figure Four on him to you know have Star Rider have a disadvantage with his knee. So
Let's see, you mentioned Carson Drake earlier. I've seen his
yes.
work throughout the country. Phenomenal athlete. Why is he the future of wrestling? Because of his skills inside the ring and outside of the ring.
Carson, for being such a young man, carries himself with so much seasoned experience well beyond his years and has such a great personality and such a great character that he presents to the audience that you can't help but, whether you like him or dislike him, he evokes a strong emotion, and but you always have to respect.
Awesome. And then, of course, an important part of the roster is veterans, Jake Vaughn.
Yeah, Jack Vaughn is really been, what's awesome about OVW, quite honestly, is this. All of these talent who come in, you know, literally all of these talent come in at a certain level and you watch them evolve and develop and become really true stars in, professional wrestling in the venue of OVW. And Jack Vaughn's been no different. Jack came in and wasn't remarkable or didn't stand out in any particular way except for his he's a giraffe. I mean, he's almost 7 feet tall, and but then just to watch him literally blossom, develop into what he's become, and becoming a star in OVW has been amazing to watch.
So, how often do Jesse's celebrity friends show up to your events?
Not many, not often, no. But Jesse Goddard is an incredible talent, and he's on other platforms, television
Mhm.
platforms. In fact, he's like on top of he's on House of Villains 2 is coming up
Ooh,
right now, here in the fall, and Jesse's plays a major role in it. So.
nice. Now, if I could have any wrestler on your roster to manage, because I think they have such potential, such a great future, I would say Shira. Um, when's he going to get his opportunity?
Well, Shearer's always in the mix. He's such a force in OVW, and right now I think he's going to be starting to pursue more of the tag team situation. He and Cash at one point were very heavily involved in the tag team situation here in OVW, but Cash got a great opportunity with Tulsa King, and he's on the second season of Tulsa King, and
Oh, wow.
he's got like a major role on that show, and so he's not been available here to OVW as much. And so Shearer's, kind of going off in his own direction and finding his path right now at the moment.
Definitely. Now, obviously, when people think of OVW, they think of you, they think of Nightmare Danny Davis. But when it comes to the wrestlers, is it fair to say that Tony Khan, with his three OVW Tag Team Championships, the three OVW TV Championships, and the two OVW Heavyweight Championships, and being one of the few people to win the Nightmare Rumble, is kind of Mr. OVW?
Oh yeah, Tony Khan is definitely a mainstay star here in OVW and has been here for years, and and is definitely a homegrown uh, individual. That's for sure, and is a consistent star from day one.
Now, we've talked about a wide variety of people on your roster. Is there anybody that I forgot to ask you about?
I don't, Haley J, also part of the women's division, Tiffany Nieves, Ellie, Dream Girl Ellie. I mean, we have a really large and really uh, diverse and really exciting women's division that all because of the very talented women that are in it.
Awesome. Now, if our listeners become inspired and want to learn to be professional wrestlers or to be in any part of the industry, where's the best place to learn?
Well, I would have to say OVW Academy. If anybody has any interest, they can go to ovwacademy.com. We're the only certified by the State Office of Proprietary Education as a trade school for professional wrestling, sports entertainment, and broadcasting in the world. So, if I advise, if they don't come to OVW Academy, I tell everyone the same thing, and that is if you go somewhere that suits your goals. If you want to be in WWE, find someone who has been in WWE to train. If you want to go overseas and tour and go around the world, find someone who has that experience. And here at OVW Academy, you've had myself, you've got Doug Basham, you've got trainers that have experience and lots of experience in lots of different levels of wrestling that you can impart knowledge to you and increase your odds of you achieving your goals.
So, is Self Help Life Lessons from Bizarre Wrestling Career of Al Snow one of the textbooks?
No, it's not one of the textbooks, but it is a fun read, that's for sure.
Nice. And then for the June 15th event in Cincinnati, Ohio, the OVW Live at Riverfront Live, I need a new shirt to wear. Any advice on where I could find a nice shirt to wear to the event?
I would suggest collarandelbowbrand.com. And if you use the code word snowman, you take 10% off of your purchase. Even if we have a 20 or 30% off sale, you just add that 10% on top of that as well. So use the code word snowman and you'll be able to have a discount. And you can check out all the great designs there at collarandelbowbrand.com.
That is awesome. Well, Al, it has been a pleasure having you on the show as always. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can we learn about more about OVW and where is the best place to get the tickets?
You can go to ovwrestling.com. You can find out all the information on all of the shows, all of our touring, and you can get your tickets for all of the shows there, including our weekly show here in Louisville at the Davis Arena at 4400 Shepherdsville Road every Thursday night. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7. We're done by 9.
Awesome.
And they can see where we are, where we broadcast, and we're all across the country from Canada down to Puerto Rico, Guam, the Virgin Islands, the Bahamas. We're in about 100 million plus homes.
Awesome. It has been a pleasure having you on. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on June 15th there in Cincinnati.